Welcome back to the Bracken Sports Talk podcast. It's episode 3 so far on this journey we are on. We're currently at 8 subscribers. We would love to get to 10 by the end of the week, so maybe we can reach that goal if you guys hit subscribe and also hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Today we got a good show lined out for you guys. The NFL trade deadline was today. That is definitely the most important thing that is happening today in the United States.
On election day.
Is the NFL trade deadline.
Yeah, who cares about the election?
Yeah. But yeah, we have a good show.
Who cares about the trade deadline when you're a Packers fan?
Yeah, no.
Don't do anything.
Hey, we'll get into that later. It was pretty bad.
Jumping too far ahead.
It was a pretty boring trade deadline, but we'll get into that. But this past Sunday was very disappointing from a Packers point of view. The Packers lose 24-14 to the Lions. They really got dominated in the game, in my opinion. It looks closer on the scoreboard, but it's just more of the same mistakes we've seen from the Packers. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. 7 drops, 3 fumbled snaps, 11 penalties, and they all seem to come at the wrong times. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think my thought midway through was that Detroit plays outdoors all the time and Green Bay is a dome team.
Yeah.
Because it looked like the Lions had no problem being there.
No, yeah.
We looked like we were freezing.
Yeah,
it looked like the elements were getting to us. A lot of the drops. I mean, they didn't have any drops. Goff was surgical, it seemed like. I mean, we moved the ball. Mm-hmm. But, some of it's a little bit garbage time when you're up the way they were, 24-6. They're kind of sitting back, probably not giving it their all in the backfield or in the, not in the backfield, but in the pass coverage. So, I think a lot of those yards are kind of, a little bit inflated because of that. A little bit of Dak Prescott time out there for Jordan Love this time.
Yeah, so. The Packers outgained the Lions 411 yards to 261. So they could move the ball all day, and I've kind of gone through the film a little bit, and there were definitely chances on that pick 6. Jordan Love has a little bit of time, and he's hitting Jaden Reed for probably a touchdown. And if Christian Watson doesn't stop short of a deep ball, that might go for a touchdown. So, I mean, it was...
Right?
Yeah, no, it was just a horrible day full of so many mistakes.
I think for Jordan Love, he's a 5th-year player, but he's really a 2nd-year player, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get much time, obviously, with Rodgers, and I think patience is just... I mean, it's tough. Tough for fans, to have patience with a player, but right now he panics a little bit and he throws interceptions when he panics. I mean, listen, Favre never really panicked. He just threw picks, So Favre was just like, I don't care if it's triple covered. I'll throw it in there.
Yeah.
They'll make a play.
I agree.
And I think Love just tries to do a little too much, and hopefully he can start to kind of not. But I know at Utah State, that was kind of a thing he did. He'd throw the ball in harm's way. He's got a big arm. Ran the ball well, but it's hard to keep running the ball when you're behind. I thought
the Packers should have, especially going into that third quarter, even though they were down big, I think there was still a lot of time in that game. I feel like if they could have just kept themselves a little bit more consistent in the run game, they may have been able to get back into it. But as soon as Dontavian Wicks is dropping that touchdown in the end zone, that kind of ended the game right there. Yeah. That kind of ended all hopes. But I mean, Detroit is the best team in football in my opinion, and there's no shame in losing to Detroit. But the Packers should and could have won this game if they didn't. The Lions beat the Packers on the scoreboard, but the Packers beat the Packers in the game.
I have a question for the 8 listeners out there. Put something in the comments on your opinion of, do you take pride in your division opponents and how they play? Do you ever cheer on your division outside, or should you just hate them?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Why not 8 subscribers? Send a comment. What do you think? Give us your
Put
thoughts
it down there. Put it down in the comments below. I know me personally, I feel like I last year in the playoffs when the Lions were playing the Niners in the championship game, I cheered for the Lions, but that's just because I don't like the Niners. And I mean, the Lions haven't won in forever. There's nothing where you can really like. I definitely, the Lions are like the least hated team in the division for me because it's like, the Lions haven't really done much. They've never won. They've faced so much adversity in their lifespan as a team.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for that and how they built their team. And they're a juggernaut. They are a train, and it's not stopping. And I think if they were in the Super Bowl right now, they'd win it. I don't care who's in it. I think Baltimore doesn't beat them. I don't think Kansas City beats them. I think they are clearly the best team.
But Vikings can piss off. So.
But there's still tons of optimism for the Packers. I mean, you're still 6-3 going to your bye. There's nothing wrong with that. Numerous other teams would take that. And I don't know. I think all they have to do is just learn that they cannot be taking these drive-killing penalties, these false starts, these holdings that are just sending them back. And
be more disciplined.
I mean, I don't think we've had really a clean game all year. And so to be 6-3 and still not have a clean game all year, that's encouraging to me. But they're going to have to clean it up a lot. But, I mean, another thing is the second half defense played really well. Again, I think they're like top 5 in second half points per game on defense. So that's a good sign because that's big in the playoffs. If you're able to shut down your opponent in the second half, if this offense can just learn to be a little bit more disciplined, play a little bit more in rhythm, I think we'll be all right.
Yep.
But you're still a 7th seed in the playoffs. I think you're fine.
That suits a team with this offense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Packers will be fine. But yeah, once again, Packers lose the Lions. Lions control the division at this point.
Yep.
Like they should win it. They're gonna probably get the 1 seed. I don't know who challenges them for that. But yeah, tough loss, but got the bye week. Yep. Comes at a perfect time. Just move on and regroup. Next up, the Jets pick up a huge W against the Texans, 21-13. For me, although this game is good for the Jets and their season, I don't think the Texans are that great, especially without their weapons, and they don't have an O-line. I mean, the Jets had 8 sacks on the day. They could not stop the Jets' pass rush.
I think it was, that, and you had no offensive weapons. So,
no.
I mean, you're playing a team on the road. Rodgers is still Rodgers at times, and so, I mean, I think I called it last week. He was going to throw all over him, and
you did.
He did in his early 40s Aaron Rodgers way. He threw all over them
because of cayenne pepper water.
Cayenne pepper water looked a lot more lively. He broke a run a couple of times. I know one got called back on a penalty, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of what happens to a young Texans team. So we'll see. I mean, they're 6-3, just like the Packers, so they're set up. They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Jets, though, can they make a run? I mean, Packers made a run at 3-6 last year.
They're going to get hot.
Impossible, but I don't know. This team, there's still a cultural problem in New York. There's still a cultural problem. They're rolling into Cardinals, I think, next.
Yeah, we got the schedule here. To finish out their season, they're at the Cardinals. Could be a tough game. Cardinals been playing well. Home against Indy. I think they probably win that game.
They gave Minnesota some trouble.
Yeah,
Indianapolis did. So,
we'll see.
We'll see.
Home against Seattle. And I mean,
it's a coin flip.
Yeah, at Miami, I feel like
Miami's gonna get him.
They could lose Miami, but it'll really just depend on how Miami's defense plays.
Tua's gonna. I don't know. I see the Miami game as a loss, and the Jets can't afford mistakes. They drop one more game, they're probably out of contention. Yeah. Potentially, maybe one at the most. If they drop 2 more, they're probably done.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they're making it at what are they now? So
3-6 right now.
Yeah, so I mean, at 9-8 would be the best they could finish. If
probably
they do 2 more. I don't think 9-8 gets you in the wild card.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Maybe, but
It's going to
maybe
depend
a
on some
7
certain things.
seed,
Yeah.
but Rodgers didn't go there to be a 7 seed. He went there to win a Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
I mean,
this season has already been a failure.
for Jets fans, that could be fine, but
for Jets fans, if they make the playoffs at all, it's a success because they have not had success in their franchise. But yeah, then they play at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been playing good.
Yep.
Home against the Rams, probably a loss. At Buffalo, loss probably, and then home against Miami. So you never know. If a team gets hot, they can beat anybody.
I wouldn't care. I mean, they're not hot yet, so yeah, they'd have to string 2 more before you're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let this game fool me.
But Arizona, man, they really handled Chicago. I mean, it's the Bears. But,
yeah.
But I think the Bears would give the Jets some trouble.
Yeah,
so
it'd be interesting.
I think that Arizona handled the Bears pretty easily with Kyler Murray throwing for 154 yards, I think it was.
Yeah.
No touchdowns. I mean, and they scored 29 points without him throwing a touchdown. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully we'll see if he drinks a lot of pepper water, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, I think especially in this game, Rodgers looked a little bit more lively on the sidelines, like he was more into the game. And that could just be because they're winning, but it just like...
It's absolutely because they're winning.
To me, it just looked like he was more into the game. And especially hitting Adams on that late touchdown, it just felt vintage Aaron Rodgers to Adams, less like what we've seen. But also, bringing in Adams has really unleashed Garrett Wilson. Because Adams was the big name that was brought in, but it seems to be that he has kind of like made Garrett Wilson better and gotten in more one-on-ones and stuff. So I think they got a good thing going on offense. I'm not sure about how their defense will do in the future. But yeah, I think the Texans might be in trouble just because their O-line cannot keep Stroud protected. And I mean, he's not immobile, but he's definitely more comfortable in the pocket.
Yeah.
So if they can't fix that O-line, and if they don't have Nico Collins, and now of course they have Diggs out for the season, if they can't keep that line together and protect Stroud, they might be in trouble. But I think they'll still make the playoffs just because I don't trust anyone else in their division. But it's Jets pick up a big win. This was a must-win game, but I'm not letting it fool me. I'm not gonna go out and say anything crazy like they're making the playoffs right now. You win next week?
Nah, still I'm not.
If they win next week, I might hop on the bandwagon, but we'll have to discuss that next week. But yeah. All right, the Ravens. Whew, I was at work, so I wasn't watching this game. But if anybody had to watch this game, if they're a Broncos fan, I'm sorry. This was a dismantling of the Broncos. Derrick Henry might be the signing of the offseason. He and Lamar together are just unstoppable. I mean, Lamar's playing like the MVP again. I don't think there's any disputing that. He is the MVP. And I think he should be the clear favorite because I'm not sure who's even close to him. Maybe Derrick Henry. But what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, looked early on. I watched a little bit of it on Red Zone. Early on, it looked like Bo Nix was moving the ball. Mm-hmm. They were moving the ball on offense.
Well, that's the concern about the Ravens.
They were. I don't really feel like Nix played that bad. To be fair, just they weren't good enough against the Ravens. Just it's just an definitely outclass. Just outclassed, and the offense. Nix is being a rookie. I mean, he couldn't really take advantage of much, and I think Denver lacks some perimeter weapons.
Yeah,
and they'll get better. I've never been a Bronco fan much. I mean, growing up where they were on TV, this game reminded me of back in the old days before, Red Zone. This would be the game on TV, and you'd just be like, seeing the bottom line, and all these other scores, and being like, we're watching this game. They're just getting killed. Yeah. But living in that kind of market that had a lot of Denver games, that's really why I don't like them that much. Mm-hmm. So It's always been tough. But I mean, I don't feel like Denver played terrible.
Well, they got a good defense.
They just couldn't Yeah,
that makes it almost more impressive for the Ravens. Like this was a good Denver defense that they just went in there and drove all over them. But I still think the Ravens defense is a concern, and it'll be interesting to see if they can beat Cincy, because Cincy can score. But I think it's going to be similar to the game they had last time they played. I think their whole division could give them fits. I think just any AFC North game is just a battle. Anybody can come out on top. It doesn't matter. So, but the Ravens and Lamar, the MVP probably favorite, could be the 3-time MVP. Which is, I mean, shoot, you win 3 MVPs, I think he might have a case to be a Hall of Famer already at this point.
I hope he can make a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would be interesting if he can make the Hall of Fame without even making a Super Bowl. But I think he'll probably win one eventually. Could it be this year? Maybe. You think they could take down the Chiefs this year?
No.
You don't think so? Why not?
Defense.
Yeah.
Defense will be the difference.
But
the Chiefs defense, they've already stopped them once. I don't know. Depends on how healthy Derrick Henry is, if he can get going in that game. Doesn't seem to matter what you do with Kansas City. They find a way to win. There's a lot of, I think Rex Ryan said that you can't let teams stay in it. You're gonna lose eventually. But I could also think that, I could see Kansas City being the exception to every rule.
True. And they're undefeated.
And they're, haven't been playing that well, and they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's scary.
By not playing well, obviously well enough, but not playing the way you're accustomed to seeing them play. And so the question is, in the second half of the season, if we see that, no shot. Sorry, Lamar, you're folding in the playoffs again, probably. I'm at a full see. I have to see it to believe it. I won't ever pick against Kansas City in the playoffs.
That's fair enough. I can't argue against that logic.
They have to lose, so I have to see it happen before I pick you.
No, I agree.
Not that I won't cheer for it, but I just wouldn't pick it.
No, I think that's totally fair. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this year. But yeah. All right. A lot of coaches this year are on the hot seat. Just kind of going through the current draft order. Patriots have the first pick. A lot of people think Mayo might get fired, but I don't know. They don't have that great of a roster.
You can't fire him after year one.
No,
Patriots aren't that kind of organization. That's a Jets move, or I don't know. That's like a. I don't know,
that's a Bears move.
Jaguars move.
I know the Bears will keep bad coaches.
Yeah,
as we will talk about in just a minute. But yeah, I think Mayo stays. 2-7 Jaguars. Doug Peterson should be fired tomorrow, probably. He's no good.
I thought he would have been, but
he's no good. I don't care.
He's
won a Super Bowl,
coach.
But it's not working in Jacksonville. It's obvious that him and Trevor are not meshing.
There's a cultural issue there.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Like a work culture type thing.
Saints new interim head coach Darren Rizzi, because what's his name?
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen just got fired, so he's the interim. I doubt they keep him.
Nah.
He'll probably be fired. Panthers, Dave Canales, he'll stay. He's first year.
Yeah,
horrible roster. They're trading away all their players, so if he keeps losing, it's whatever. Stefanski, I get that it's a bad situation, but I think Stefanski won Coach of the Year last year.
Yeah, I don't think he gets
so
fired.
It's like, I don't know how you can really justify firing a guy like that.
I don't think they'll fire him.
And the hand he is dealt at quarterback, I don't know. Yeah. That would kind of rub me the wrong way if they fired him.
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce, I think this week when they fired all their assistants kind of told me exactly what they think. They think they have the right coach, not the right coordinators.
I hadn't heard they fired all their
assistants. They fired their offensive coordinator, a bunch of other guys. So I think you can kind of see where they lie there, so I think he'll stay. Giants, Brian Daboll.
You got to give him some time without Daniel Jones to see if it's Daniel Jones or if it's him.
I think Daniel Jones is probably gone after this year. I think he plays fine some games,
Guess it depends on what your option is. You
That's
probably
true.
cut him after your draft pick.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
If they continue to lose and they get a high draft pick and draft one of the top 5 quarterbacks,
Yeah.
I think Daniel Jones is gone. But I mean, I think Dayball's another one that's like he's a good coach. He's just been dealt like the worst hand at quarterback. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect out of him? So I think he stays. Mike McDaniel stays. I mean, you can say all you want about how his teams are soft, but he's a great play caller. And those are a dime a dozen. So you would not want to get rid of him. Ulbrich for the Jets. He's gone. I doubt they keep him. Unless, like, they go on a run. They'll keep him probably.
No.
You don't think so?
No. I think he's fired.
Yeah, probably.
It's a whole new staff. They got to change over the whole staff.
Yeah. So. Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, I'm surprised he's not fired already.
I'd rather they keep him so the Cowboys keep sucking. But
I mean, I don't even know who. I mean, maybe Belichick goes there.
What if Vrabel goes there?
Yeah, Vrabel. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting story this offseason what the Cowboys do. But, yeah, and then finally rounding out this list, the Bears. I mean, Matt Eberflus should probably be fired. It seems like he's just lost the locker room.
He should have been fired last year.
Yeah.
Bring in an offensive coach.
I know, yeah. I mean, because now you're just doing the same thing you did with Fields. You had a different coach. Now you're going to fire him, and he's going to have to start all over again. His confidence is going to be way down for Caleb, I'm talking about. Yeah. And, I mean,
I don't think Caleb's confidence can ever go down.
Maybe not, but right now something ain't working, and it looks like a lot of players are just quitting on him. So I feel like Eberflus needs to be fired now. Better just to get it done than keep waiting for this to implode even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there's a few more that I missed, but whatever. I think if your team is bad and you've been there for a few years, you'll probably getting fired. But yeah.
Ooh, excuse me.
Moving on, our power rankings. To start off the list. This may be controversial. The Detroit Lions. I said it earlier. I don't know. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs to be the best team in the league. But I think if these two faced off right now, Detroit. I'm going to say it. Detroit is winning by a landslide.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know that you can beat Kansas City.
You don't think so?
Like. I don't know that you can win by a landslide.
I just think it's like a 10-point victory, which is a landslide.
Lions have been winning off of a lot of special teams and low yards. It's kind of interesting. They're not killing you with a ton of yards, but they're just capitalizing on turnovers and
they just score.
Yeah,
I mean they're just good, and I think they're probably the best team. But I have Chiefs at number 2. I feel like. If they're not 1, they're 2. They're undefeated. They're the only undefeated team. I mean, they're the back-to-back Super Bowl champions. It speaks for itself. Ravens at 3. I think just what Lamar and Derrick Henry is doing will carry them as far as they perform well. I mean, I guess their defense is not that great, but it's an offensive league, so I think Ravens at 3, Bills at 4. Kind of a tough game against Miami, but I mean Miami's healthy again. Miami was a playoff team last year. I think every divisional game is tough. So I think we see it often where a team who is inferior in the division gives the top dog a fight in the division. So I don't really hold that much against them. At 5, the Commanders. I mean, who could have seen this coming? Just insane start to the season for them.
Yeah.
Number 6, Vikings. I think if the Packers would have won, I would have put the Packers above the Vikings. But Packers didn't, so Vikings got the win. I think the Vikings. I don't know. I feel like the Packers are better than the Vikings, but so far this season, the Vikings beat the Packers. So,
maybe Sam Darnold's coming back down to earth.
Yeah, maybe. I think with Sam Darnold, he's definitely like a first half quarterback, but we'll see. Eagles at 7. I kind of slept on the Eagles to start the year. I didn't think they'd be that good, but they've really kicked it into gear in that Saquon Barkley hurdle. You see that?
Yeah.
I mean, holy, unbelievable play by him. Just insane. I don't know. I don't even know how he does it.
That was pretty crazy.
Then you got the Packers at 8. I mean, I still feel like they're a top 10 team. They really just beat themselves. I know they're talented. Texans at 9. I could flip the Texans for maybe the Steelers, but I like the Texans more. I like their quarterback more. So we'll go Texans at 9. And then at 10, you got the Falcons. Kirk Cousins just playing well, and they got 2 good running backs. I mean, Darnell Mooney, who could have seen him coming? He's good. Like he is a viable wide receiver too.
Drake London,
got
banged up.
Yeah,
I don't know how bad his hip injury is, but
I mean they just got a lot of weapons.
Stay healthy, they could make a push.
Yeah, I mean I feel like they probably control their division now. I mean they got 2 wins against the Buccaneers, so it should be cool. It should be interesting how this changes next week. But I think Lions are the best team in the league. Moving on. So the trade deadline was today, like we said. Some of the moves that happened early this morning. Detroit acquired Zadarius Smith from the Browns and a 7th round pick in exchange for a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick. So this was what everybody kind of predicted Detroit would do. Because they lost Hutchinson, obviously, so they needed some pass rush. Do you think this will change the pass rush for Detroit that much?
Oh, it doesn't hurt it. I'm sure he'll improve it. Not like with Hutchinson, of course, but I mean, Zadarius Smith when he was a Packer had some pretty good pressures, but I don't know.
I don't think this this isn't gonna.
It didn't make me any more afraid to play Detroit again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to change their season.
Detroit beats you up, but they're beatable. They've just been playing really well. So hopefully for Detroit's sake, they aren't peaking too early. If they can keep that up, we'll see. I think the Vikings are motivated to play Detroit again, and I think the Packers are too. They better be.
Yeah,
if they're not.
They come out flat again.
Yeah, if you're not motivated to go play them again, I think the second go arounds for each will be pretty close.
I agree. Dallas acquires receiver Jonathan Mingo and a 7th round pick for the Panthers in exchange for a 4th round pick.
I think all along on every station, the biggest thing they've been saying is they don't have anybody to throw the ball to. I think pretty sure that's what everyone, Get Up, all those shows, Colin Cowherd, they've all been saying, you know what, all Dallas is lacking is a 2nd or 3rd string wide receiver. So let's go get one. And that'll help us stop the run. So probably because, I guess if you think about it logically, because they'll just have the ball on offense the entire game. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't understand it.
It's
let's give up a 4th round pick.
The Chiefs gave up a 5th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins.
Way to go, Jera.
So you tell me who's better, Mingo or Hopkins. I think I know which one, but I'm not for sure.
Our 8 subscribers, respond in the comments who you think's better.
Yeah. Maybe I'll put a poll down there.
Mingo or
Hopkins. Which one? Or even one. Amari Cooper.
Or Amari Cooper, yeah. Which one's better?
Which one do you think Jerry should have traded for?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not on that list, and that wasn't a trade. It would have been a free agent signing if he just signed Derrick Henry.
Just to think of all the bad organizational moves that have gone down so far for the Cowboys, it's bad this year.
Maybe he figured Mingo's the best wide receiver that he couldn't draft.
Well, he said he loved him in college, and that's why they wanted to trade for him. But I think I saw this stat since 2000, Mingo has the worst drop percentage ever since 2000.
Nice.
Out of 500 wide receivers. Ever. I mean, that is just insane.
I guess we'll see if Cooper Rush can connect over the next 4 weeks while Dak Prescott's nursing his hammy.
They should just start Trey Lance at this point. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
Probably the trade of the day was Washington acquiring Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints, along with a 5th-round pick in exchange for a 3rd-rounder and a 4th-rounder and a 6th-rounder. This was kind of expected from Washington if they were going to make a push. I think you only do this kind of trade if you know you're a contender, and I think they're a contender. I think Lattimore completes their secondary. They were really needing corner. I mean, he's older. He's like 28, and you're going to have to pay him, but, he's one of the best in the league when he's healthy.
Makes Washington definitely more dangerous, little more...
makes more serious.
Yeah, I mean, they can make a deeper playoff run with a little bit more help on the defense. Yeah, I mean, if you're Detroit, you're always concerned about your division just because it's your division, but you're outside of the division. You're looking at Washington, you're looking at San Francisco, you're looking at LA. LA's got so many wide receivers. The Rams, not the Chargers.
Yeah,
well, Chargers.
Chargers should have traded for a wide receiver.
But yeah, they did. They need that help. But the Rams, you're looking at the Rams, you're looking at the Niners as threats. So yeah, Washington. It sucks a little bit for Green Bay because, they're going to take a playoff spot. Fortunately, I don't think anyone else in the NFC East is going to, so
maybe
they'll just win their division.
Yeah, maybe the Eagles. You never know.
But that'd be a tough one to have to roll into Washington. To play. If the Packers go on the road, because I don't think the division's in play for the Packers anymore, so... I mean, mathematically, sure, but I don't think I'd take a big flop by Detroit. So you're looking at a wild card. But, we'll see.
The Jets deal Mike Williams to Steelers in exchange for a 5th-round pick. It was funny. I was watching the Pat McAfee show when this went down. And guess who was on? Aaron Rodgers. So that was probably a little awkward for him after some of his comments to Mike Williams.
Did he do the discount?
No, he did not.
My thoughts on this is I think that's I think Mike Williams the last couple weeks has made some pretty critical catches. The 1 or 2 targets that he had were on, I think, pretty key 3rd downs to move the ball. I think I don't know. I think to just deal him for a 5th rounder, I think maybe you hold on to Mike Williams a little bit because you don't know if Devontae Adams is just a rental, maybe, right? So depending on how long Rodgers sticks around, and Williams is coming off the ACL and he's trying to get back in the groove. I think it's big for the Steelers. Way to pull it off because I think it makes the Steelers a lot better. Because I think Mike Williams still has some talent. He has some drops. He doesn't run great routes, I don't think, but he was. I think he was a key piece for Justin Herbert.
He was
in L.A. So
no, I agree with you. I don't really understand. It's a 5th-round pick. I'm like, why trade him? Why?
Yeah.
It's not like he's the same player as
Rodgers
Adams.
Doesn't want him there. So
yeah, I guess. It's just that's kind of interesting.
Steelers also acquired Preston Smith,
from the Packers. I liked Preston.
Thank you for your time, Preston.
We appreciate you. I think at this point in his career, was he as good of a player? No, but on a team that's so young, now there are 2 Green Bay Packers that are over the age of 30. Eric Wilson, linebacker, and Brandon McManus, kicker.
Brand new.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
it's a young team.
They are very young, and
I think that played into the cold too. I think they are still getting used to the elements there. I think if a lot of this core sticks around, I think they'll get a lot better in that kind of weather. But just shows you how young the team is.
No, yeah. But I get it. He's due a lot of money these next 2 years. So you're trying to dump that salary. But unless he's I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it especially because the Packers' edge is so weak. So I'm I don't know. I'd probably just keep him. Eat the money. He's a veteran leader. in the locker room, I'd probably just keep the money and keep him as a leader. But yeah, that was pretty much it for the trade deadline. There's a few other trades, but nothing really impactful. Pretty boring, to be honest. I don't know what I was really expecting. I mean, I guess because there were names like Myles Garrett and Max Crosby thrown around.
Yeah. And
then none of that really ended up happening. So, pretty boring trade deadline, but kind of disappointing the Packers didn't do anything. But, I mean, it's just kind of our MO. I saw something today, and it's like, well, Brian Gutekunst didn't do anything this year, but, hey, at least we're going to have a meaningless fourth-round pick in next year's draft that we could have used to get Chase Young or somebody to help on the edge. But, nope. Hey, we just got to trust the process as Packers fans. Most of the time, it serves us right. So we will see how that goes. But next week, you got some good games coming up. Giants at Panthers. Just kidding. That game's going to be horrible. And it's in London. You have to wake up early.
Germany.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Germany.
Yeah.
You still have to wake up really early to watch. Not going to do it. Niners at Bucks should be good. Detroit at Houston could be good if Nico Collins comes back. I don't know if he's officially designated to return yet, but if he comes back, I think Houston can give him a run a little bit, but I still think Detroit wins it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Episode 3 of Bracken Sports Talk. We'll have episode 4 up next week, talking about more sports. Please like and subscribe, and have a good day. You got anything else to say to them?
No.
All right. See you later. Yeah, have a good one, guys.